Morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. This is the reporting of Group 7, Business Correspondence 1.
So here's are the objectives. At the end of the module, students are expected to explain the purpose of communication in business, describe the criteria for effective messages, illustrate the different types of audience considerations, differentiate message techniques for positive, negative, and persuasive purposes. Business communications are heavily influenced by the environments in which they are created and interpreted. Part of this environment is shaped by the enormous influence of technology. Part is shaped by widespread trends. Part is shaped by national culture such as the growing concern about business ethics, and part is shaped by corporate culture. A final part is shaped by individual behaviors such as those involved in interpersonal communication.
When it comes to technology, businesses continually embraces all forms that help increase productivity and save money. Almost all office employees are expected to know how to navigate through the web and to use word processing, email, spreadsheet, database, and presentation software. Some newer technology elements that influence workplace environments include electronic tools, social networking sites, information overload, data security, and electronic privacy. Business communication is constantly changing. 10 trends in business, government, and nonprofit organizations affect business and administrative communication. These include a focus on quality and customers' needs, entrepreneurship, diversity, globalization, and outsourcing, balancing work and family, teamwork, job flexibility, the rapid rate of change, innovation, and concern for the environment. Business communication has three basic purposes: to inform, to request, or persuade, and to build goodwill. When you inform, you explain something or tell an audience something. When you request or persuade, you want the audience to act. The word request suggests that the action will be easy or routine. Persuade suggests that you will have to motivate and convince the audience to act. When you build goodwill, you create a good image of yourself and your organization, the kind of image that makes people want to do business with you. Most messages have multiple purposes. For example, when you write an email to coworkers asking a question, you inform them about your situation, persuade them to help you, and try to build a good image of yourself as someone who wants to resolve an issue. Elements in business correspondence. Each element has key questions to consider. Audience. Is it an individual or group? How familiar are they with the information? Are there cultural differences with the audience? How will they respond to message? Purpose. What is the intent of the message? Information. Action or both? What do you want the audience to know? What do you want them to think or feel? What do you want them to gain from the communication for yourself and the organization? If the purpose requires action from the reader, provide simple rationale or logic behind the action or decision and 3 to 5 benefits. If the purpose is to build goodwill, replace or redefine any negatives, highlight 3 to 5 benefits. Message context. What information must the message include? Are there cultural considerations? Are there external events that impact message? Are there specific company, events, or changes that impact the message? Is timing a consideration? Any other special circumstances? And there we have audience. Communication, oral, nonverbal, and written, goes to both internal and external audiences. Internal audience are other people in the same organization such as subordinates, superiors, and peers. External audiences are people outside the organization such as customer, suppliers, unions, stockholders, potential employees, government agencies, and the press and the general public. And we have benefits and cost. Writing costs money. Besides the cost of computer, software, printers, paper, and sometimes postage, there is the major expense of employees' time. Effective communication helps to save time, increase productivity among workers, communicates ideas more clearly, and builds goodwill. On the other hand, poor communication can cost billions of dollars. Poor communication wastes time because it takes longer to read and waste efforts because ineffective messages don't get results. Poor communication can cause a communicator to lose goodwill and worse, may cause legal problems.
Criteria for effective messages. So, what is the use of these 5 criteria for effective business and administrative communication? The first one is clear. The meaning the audience gets is the meaning of the communicator intended. Complete. All of the audience's questions are answered. Correct. All of the information in the message is accurate. Saves the receiver's time. The style, organization, and visual or oral impact of the message. It's helped the receivers read, understand, and act on the information as quickly as possible. And the last one is builds goodwill. The message presents a positive image of the communicator and his or her organization. When you're faced with a business communication problem, you need to develop a solution that will both solve the organization's problem and meet the psychological needs of the people involved. Some strategies to help you solve business communication. It includes gathering knowledge, brainstorming, solutions, and answering the 6 analysis questions from the text box which follow on the next slide. So, here are the 6 analysis questions. Number 1, who is your audience? What characteristics are relevant to this particular message? If you are writing or speaking to more than one person, how do the people in your audience differ? Number 2, what are your purposes in communication or in communicating? Number 3, what information must your message include? Number 4, how can you build support for your position? What reasons or audience benefits will your audience find convincing? Number 5, what objections can you expect your audience to have? What negative elements of your message must you de-emphasize or overcome? And the last question, what aspects of the total situation may affect audience response? The economy, the time of year, morale in the organization, the relationship between the audience and communicator, or any special circumstances. So there are group work here, audience benefits activity. I'll just give an example, maybe 3. Identifying and developing audience benefits for different audiences. Assume that you want to encourage people to do one of the activities listed below. So the number 1 example is becoming more physically fit. Audiences, and your audiences, college students on the job market, workers whose job require heavy lifting, sedentary workers, people diagnosed as having high blood pressure, managers who travel frequently on business, older workers. Second one, getting advice about interior decorating, and your audience says young people with little money to spend, parents with small children, people upgrading or adding to their furnishings, older people moving from single-family homes into smaller apartments or condominiums, and builders furnishing model homes. And the last one is getting advice on investment strategies, and the audience says new college graduates, people earning more than $100 annually, treasurers of religious congregations, parents with small children, people within 10 years of retirement. In addition to needs that several audiences share, identifying at least one's need that would be particularly important to each group. Identify a product or service that could meet each need. And write a paragraph or 2 of audience benefits for each product or service. And solving business communication problems. Here, organize information to fit. Somehow, additional strategies to help you solve business communication problems include organizing information, of course, the audience's purposes and the situation. Organizing information to fit. The theoretical situation, making documents visually inviting and revising drafts for tone. How to organize the information? Of course, you need to focus on the issue, follow a chronological outline, use inductive or deductive order, and also make document visually inviting. Use a reader-friendly layout. Observe appropriate font style and size. Keep it free from any smudge or folds. Revise draft for tone. Friendly, businesslike, and positive. And additional strategies to help you solve business communication problems include organizing information to fit the theoretical situation, making documents visually inviting, and revising drafts for tone.
You should conclude solving business communication problems by editing drafts for standard spelling, punctuation, and grammar and using the responses you get to plan future messages. Remember that a solution to a business communication problem must both solve the organization's problem and meet the needs of the writer or speaker, the organization, and the audience. Positive emphasis is a mindset and communication technique that highlights the good in any situation. It encourages focusing on what's working well, like seeing a glass as half full rather than half empty. In communication, using positive words, organizing information to highlight strengths, and presenting things clearly helps create a more uplifting tone. For example, saying we've made great progress is more encouraging than focusing on what's lacking. By emphasizing the positives, you build rapport, motivate others, and handle challenges more constructively. Create positive emphasis by using the following five techniques. Avoid negative words and words with negative connotations. Getting rid of negatives has the benefit of making what you write easier to understand. Beware of hidden negatives. Some words are not negative in themselves but become negative in context. Focus on what the audience can do rather than on limitations. When you have a benefit and a requirement the audience must meet to get the benefit, the sentence is usually more positive if you put the benefit first. Justify negative information by giving a reason or linking it to an audience benefit. A reason can help your audience see that the information is necessary. A benefit can suggest that the negative aspect is outweighed by positive factors. Put the negative information in the middle and present it compactly. Put negatives at the beginning or end only if you want to emphasize the negative. To emphasize a written negative, put it in the middle of a paragraph rather than in the first or last sentence, and in the middle of the message rather than in the first or last paragraphs. Tone is the implied attitude of the communicator toward the audience. If the words of a document seem condescending or rude, tone is a problem. Norms for politeness are cultural and generational. They also vary from office to office. Tone is tricky because it interacts with power. Language that is acceptable within one group may be unacceptable if used by someone outside the group. Words that might seem friendly from a superior to a subordinate may seem uppity if used by the subordinate to the superior. The desirable tone for business writing is businesslike but not stiff, friendly but not phony, confident but not arrogant, polite but not groveling. Bias-free language is language that does not discriminate against people on the basis of sex, physical condition, race, ethnicity, age, religion, or any other category. It includes all audiences, helps to sustain goodwill, is fair and friendly, and complies with the law. Non-sexist language treats both sexes neutrally. Language is non-racist and non-ageist when it treats all races and ages fairly. Avoiding negative stereotypes of any group. When you talk about people with disabilities or diseases, talk about the people, not in the condition. When you produce newsletters or other documents with photos and illustrations, choose a sampling of whole population, not just part of it. Business messages must meet the needs of the sender, be sensitive to the audience, and accurately reflect the topic being written about. When we need to convey information to which the receiver's basic reaction will be neutral, the message is informative. If we convey information to which the receiver's reaction will be positive, the message is positive or good news message. Neither message immediately asks the receiver to do anything. However, both type of message have persuasive elements because you want to build a positive attitude about the information being conveyed.
Purposes. Primary. To give information or good news. To have receiver view information positively. And secondary. To build good image of sender. To build good image of sender organization. To build good relationship between sender and receiver. To de-emphasize any negative elements. And last, to eliminate future message on same subject. Even a simple informative or good news message usually has several purposes. The primary and secondary purposes are outlined here. Managing information. Give audience information they need. Consider your purpose. Develop a system that lets people know what is new if you send out regular message. Put the most vital information in emails, even if you send an attachment. Check message for accuracy and completeness. And last, remember emails are public documents. Information controls is important. You want to give your audience the information they need, but you don't want to overwhelm them with information. When you are the person in the know, it is easy to overestimate how much your audience knows. If you send out regular scheduled message on the same topic, such as monthly updates, try to develop a system that lets people know immediately what is new. If you send message with an attachment, put the most vital information in the email too. Don't make readers open an attachment merely to find out the time or location of a meeting. Check your message for accuracy and completeness. And next, negative message. Information conveyed is negative. Audience reaction is negative. Message does not benefit them. Usually, they experience disappointment or anger. Varieties, rejection, refusal, policy change not benefiting customer, poor performance appraisals, disciplinary notice, insulting, intrusive request, product recalls. Negative messages are a vital part of business and administrative communication. In a negative message, the basic information conveyed is negative. The communicator expects the audience to be disappointed or angry. Negative messages include rejection and refusals, announcement of policy changes that do not benefit the audience, requests the audience will see as insulting or intrusive, negative performance appraisals, disciplinary notice, and product recalls or notice of defects. And next, purposes. Primary, to give audience negative news, to have audience read, understand, and accept message, to maintain as much goodwill as possible. Secondary, to build good image of communicator, organization, to avoid future message on same subject. A negative message always has several primary purposes, which include giving the audience the bad news, having the audience read, understand, and accept the message, and maintaining as much as possible. A negative message also has several secondary purposes, which include building a good image of the communicator, building a good image of the communicator organization, reducing or eliminating future correspondence on the same subject so the message does not create more work for the writer. And next, outcome. Want audience to feel they have been taken serious. Your decision is fair and reasonable. Last, if they were in your situation, they would make the same decision. Some messages that first appear to be a negative can be structured to create a positive feelings. Even when it is not possible to make the audience happy with the news, you must convey. You still want the audience to feel that they have been taken seriously, that your decision is fair and reasonable, and if they were in your shoes, they would make the same decision. Tone in negative message. Tone implied attitude of the author toward the audience and subject. First, show you talk request seriously. Use positive emphasis and you attitude. Think about visual appearance, and last, consider timing of message. Tone is the implied attitude of the author toward the audience and the subject. It is particularly important when you want an audience to feel that you have taken the request seriously. Even the physical appearance and timing of the message.
Three persuasive patterns of organization.
First is direct request. Direct request is a pattern when the audience will do as you ask without any resistance. You need responses only from people who will find it easy to do as you ask, or the audience may not read all of the message. Next is problem solving. Problem solving is a pattern when the audience may resist doing as you ask and you expect logic to be more important than emotion in the decision. Next is sales. Sales is a pattern when the audience may resist doing as you ask and you expect emotion to be more important than logic in the decision. Next slide is why threats don't persuade. Good manager use persuasion to maintain open communication, foster better working relationship, and facilitate smoother discussion. Threats, whether explicit or implied, involve threatening someone to be punished or their action or decision. Choosing a persuasive strategy. First is, what do you want people to do? Identify the specific action you want and the person who has the power to do it. Next is, what objection will audience have? To be persuasive, you need to show your audience that your proposal meets their need and overcome any objection. Next, how strong a case can you make? The strength of your case is based on the three aspects of persuasion, including argument, credibility, and emotional appeal. What kind of persuasion is the best for organization and the culture?
A strategy that works in one organization may not work somewhere else.
Purposes. Persuasive message in business have multiple purposes, including influencing the audience to change beliefs, building a positive image of the communicator, fostering a strong relationship, overcoming objection, and reducing future communication on the same subject to minimize work for the communicator. Building credibility. First is, be factual. Don't exaggerate. Next, be specific. If you say X is better, show in detail how it is better. Next, be reliable. If a project will take longer or cost more than estimated, tell the audience immediately. When you don't have yet the credibility that comes from being an expert or being powerful, build credibility by the language and strategy you use. Make sure that you are factual, specific, and reliable.
So let's proceed to importance of communication in business. Communication is fundamental to the success of any business. It facilitates collaboration, decision-making, problem-solving, and smooth functioning of operations. Number one is improves collaboration and teamwork. Effective communication ensures that team members understand their roles, responsibilities, and the objectives they need to achieve. Number two, enhance decision making. Clear communication allows for the sharing of important information, enabling better decision making. Three is boost productivity. When communication is effective, there is less time spent on misunderstanding, redundant tasks, and clarifying informations. Number 4, strengthens relationships with stakeholders. Good communication helps business build a strong relationship with customers, suppliers, investors, and other stakeholders. Number 5, prevents conflicts and misunderstandings. Miscommunication is a common cause of workplace. By ensuring that messages are clear, concise, and properly understood, business can avoid misunderstandings that can lead to tension, frustration, or poor morale. Number 6, support change management. In times of change, whether it introducing a new process, product, or structure, communication is key to ensuring everyone involved understands the reason for the change, how it will happen, and what is expected of them. Number 7, promotes innovation and creativity. Open communication encourages employees to share ideas, provide feedback, and contribute to problem solving. This culture of open exchange is crucial for innovations and continuous improvements. So for the next one is we have criteria for effective message in business communication. To ensure that business messages are impactful and serve their intended purpose, they must meet the following criteria. So we have clear and concise. The message should be easy to understand and free from unnecessary jargon or complexity. Number 2 is complete. Ensure that the message contains all the necessary information. Missing details can lead to confusion or incomplete action. Number 3, considerate. The message should be tailored to the audience needs, knowledge level, and expectations. So for the number 4 is we have, syempre, yung correct. The following convey should accurate and error-free. Mistakes or inaccuracies can damage credibility and lead to misunderstandings. Number 5 is concrete. Specific facts, figures, and examples when possible. A concrete message provides clear direction, making it easier for the recipient to understand and act upon. Number 6 is courteous, a professional tone. Even in difficult situations, helps maintain goodwill and it strengthens business relationships. So we have coherent. The message should flow logically and be well organized. And we have number 8, consistent. Consistency in messaging across different platforms and communications help reinforce the brand, vision, and objectives of the business. So for the last is we have timely. The message should be delivered at the right time. Delayed communication can result in missed opportunities, while premature communication can create unnecessary anxiety or confusion. By focusing on these criteria, business can ensure that their message are effective, lead to positive outcomes, and enhance the overall efficiency and success of the organization.